Hi guys, this is chapter 2 for the Stowaway. It's called The Young Cowboys. A small wave pushed the longboat into shore. 4 sailors jumped into knee-deep water and dragged it onto the beach. As the Clarion's captain stepped over the bow onto wet sand, an inch of foam washed over his boot. He smiled at Lieutenant Estudio and extended a hand. "Amigo, friend," Estudio said when he recognized the captain's blue eyes and yellow beard. 2 years earlier, Captain Geisler had sailed into Monterey aboard the Lydia. Even though he was not Spanish, he liked these Californians and their beautiful village, and had earned their trust. Captain Geisler was led half a mile up a sandy path to the Presidio. Thick adobe walls surrounded a courtyard where 2 rusty cannons pointed to the gate. Above it was the flag of Spain. The church lay directly ahead, the king's warehouse and jail along the left wall, the guardhouse and Governor Sola's office on the right. Turning to page 6. Chickens and goats wandered wherever they pleased. "Amigo," said Governor Sola. He wore the same bicorn hat as the lieutenant, tall black boots, and a waistcoat with fringed epaulettes. A sash over his shoulder held his sword in a silver scabbard. The warning of piratas had reached him moments earlier. Cups of warm, thick chocolate were served along with a platter of figs and fried strips of dough called churros that had been rolled in cinnamon and sugar. The governor waited patiently while Captain Geisler refreshed himself, for the Clarion had been at sea several weeks. By now, the long room was crowded. Children played in the courtyard, while their fathers and uncles leaned into windows and doorways. Carlito hurried up the path with Papa. They peered into the room. Finally, the blond captain spoke. "We've come from Honolulu," he began. "My mates and lads were loading sandalwood we bought from King Kamehameha. A black frigate called Argentina was anchored near us, as was the Santa Rosa, a smaller corvette. I observed their captains in a grog shop, enjoying their cups and discussing a wicked plan. Senor, these men are on their way here. They have several hundred soldiers between them, perhaps 60 guns. They are enemies of your king, and they plan to destroy what is his." A murmur rippled through the rooms to the doorways, then out through the courtyard and among the children, who began running through the village. Someone rode horseback a few miles south to Mission San Carlos Borromeo del Rio Carmelo to warn Padre Diego and the other friars. "Senor," Carlito called through the crowd, "are the pirates coming today?" The captain shook his head. "Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. The Argentina lost much of her crew to scurvy on the voyage from Madagascar, so her captain, his name is Hippolyte de Bouchard, is searching the Sandwich Islands to find natives willing to sell for him. This Bouchard has a bad temper, Senor Sola. I saw him flog a man to death. His hatred for Spain will mean much trouble for you. That is why I came, amigo, to warn you." Captain Geisler took his pipe from his vest pocket. A Castanoan Indian boy brought a tinderbox and with a small pair of tongs set a burning coal on the tobacco. Another boy knelt so the captain could use his back as a footstool. Papa drew Carlito away from the window. "Come," he said. "We must tell Mama and Nina. We'll find a safe place for them." The next few days were frantic as carretas, long narrow carts, were loaded with clothing and personal treasures. The schoolmaster, Senor Archuleta, dismissed the children because they were too wild with excitement to do their lessons. Instead of helping their mothers and aunts, Carlito and his friends ran to their horses, grazing outside the village. Okay, I'm on page 8. Amid shouts and whoops, they galloped along the beach and through the forest of Punta Peños. They pretended they were fighting pirates, so they took turns lassoing each other with their lariats, then sword fighting with sticks. At the edge of a cliff, they hid in the twisted branches of a cypress to spy on the harbor. When these adventures no longer amused them, the young Spaniards rode through the village to lasso their startled dogs. Geese and chickens scattered out of the sudden dust. "Pirates are coming!" the boys yelled happily to one another. "We are vaqueros! They can't hurt us!" As they played, chapter 2 is done.